Hey everybody! Yes, yes, it is Sunday, November 30th, 2025. Still what here we call Thanksgiving weekend. Hello. What is going on? Hi, Star. Hi, Celeria of Sound. Okay, I guess we do have sound. Okay. Uh, yes. Okay. Crazy, but everyone, it's been happening to all sorts of crazy technical issues start coming in for us. So please remember, yeah, I'm a clairvoyant. So everything is for entertainment purposes. Please do your own research and form your own opinions. From Mac, yes. uh, so, yeah, I've got my notes, and I'm going to for his. Something's going crazy. Okay, yes. I've been watching some stuff. Most of you know keep an eye on aviation worldwide. And the the Airbus A320s are being recalled, so to speak. Basically, they have to replace the computer systems. Well, this nonsense is going to push through that they're going to bring back the old petition flight engineers, third guy in the cockpit. And these were the men that made sure everything was happening where they weren't dependent on, hi lady, they weren't dependent on computers. So especially with the American manufacturers like Boeing and Lockheed Martin stuff, they're going to probably be pulling a lot of guys out of retirement to train the newbies and bring in, retrain for flight engineers. And when that happens, you're going to see a lot less accidents happen because someone won't be able to control the avionics and the hydraulics and all the other crazy stuff, where a lot of things that have been happening, it's because of the computers, and people are able to hack into them. And that's why a lot of crazy shit happens. And so when there are no computers on board, a lot of the accidents will stop. And some people aren't going to like it, but tough shit. It's just like something I was So like, okay, I'm going to be getting to that, Solarian, about the Venezuela stuff. But with the cleaning up and getting rid of the computer stuff out of the aircraft and going back to manual, it'll be a lot safer. But hi Pamela, so many people are dependent on computers. Now, remember a while back, the failed comic Zelensky, he was trying to cut a deal here with us, here with the USA. He wanted to trade drones for our American fighter jets. Well, right now, there's been a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it's kind of like the last push before the end of Russia trying to claim territory. Yes, lady, I will be talking about Sarah. Okay, now Zelensky's been pulling a lot of shit. And they've been saying that, oh, Russia drones into apartment buildings in Kiev. Well, remember, Zelensky said he wanted to trade his Ukrainian drones for U.S. fighter jets. Yeah, there may be drones being flown over by Vlad's guys, but their targets were something else. It's Zelensky's guys that are changing, that are bumping their drones. Hey, everybody, I'm sorry about that. I guess I am saying a lot of stuff. that the world doesn't want out there. I guess I'm hitting on a lot of stuff that, what I was saying is that, okay, remember, I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient, everything's entertainment purposes only. Okay. Zelensky is reprogramming the drones. Okay. And instead of going for their intended targets, they're going in and they're jamming the drones to hit civilian targets to make the Russians look worse. Just like they're going after the tanker ships, the oil tanker ships, like off of Turkey and stuff. This is all Zelensky, and it's not good. It's not good, and it's all going to expose everything pertaining to the Biden shit. It's not going to be pretty. Okay. Not pretty at all. So, yeah, something doesn't want me talking about certain stuff. I know it's happened to a few other of the ladies that talk about things. Okay, let's get off of Ukraine. Another thing I'm laughing about is, well, you know, Mother Nature does take care of things. And I know that many of you also in the US, we get these stupid harassment phone calls. And we can tell they're artificial intelligence, some idiot sitting at a computer screen. I mean, we can hear their chatter in the background. And I call them out. I go, where in Southeast Asia are you calling from? Well, usually by now on a Sunday, I've had half a dozen calls. But if you notice, many of us haven't gotten the calls the past couple of days because Mother Nature is some really nasty ass weather in Southeast Asia, Indonesia, all over those areas that normally the telemarketer banks are at. Nasty, nasty weather. It's Southeast Asia, floods in Indonesia, Philippines, Manila, Sri Lanka, parts of India. They're getting flooded out. Mother Nature is knocking those idiots out. Okay, a Solarian. Remember, there's a bunch of shitheads that, like the Ukrainians, and alleged Ukrainian refugees have tried to get into other countries. Those are the guys that are playing with the drones. They're tweaking the drones, interfering with the drones. They're the ones coming from Russia to do stuff in the former parts of Russia that Zelensky won't release back. That's what's going on. And it's Zelensky who's doing it. Now, I don't know how many of you, but okay, I have weird sleep patterns, so it's like I'm up, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, oh great. So I turn on something so I have white noise, and this morning I turned on Euronews. Yeah, we got this guy from this one country beginning with M that's not in the they're not in the EU, and they're not part of anything else yet, but he's a young dude and he wants his country to become part of the European Union, which it'll crash and burn because he's got too many idiots in there. He's a young punk. He's like a Zoran idiot. But he will basically, the older people will take him out. And then also the EU is already saying, oh my gosh, we have to start restricting people coming in. We have to change our refugee nonsense. We have to start vetting these people coming into the EU. Well, it's like, no shit, Sherlock. They're waking up. And now they're like, oh my gosh, we got to do something about it. Well, yeah, right now you've got a guy coming up against Macron. Yeah, I saw a couple things about the Z guy. He's going to get his ass kicked big time. But I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. Right now, certain people are trying to bring in their family members from Gaza. Well, Gaza is now crying about how winter has set in and their children are going to freeze to death. I'm like, what the heck? Okay. Okay, heavens above. Stop doing this nonsense, please. Okay. Yeah, Gaza, it doesn't even reach freezing, okay, at night. These people are bitching about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius. It's not going to happen. The EU, European Union, is now realizing they've got to stop letting these horrible people in. I mean, Macron is getting hit because there's a new guy challenging him for the presidency. And like I keep saying, history keeps repeating itself. Okay, there is a far right-wing party in Germany. And they're the ones that want to clean up all the shit that Angela Merkel created. The mess, they're the ones that want to clean up Merkel's mess. And they're saying, oh, they're just like Adolf. No, Angela is Adolf. And the new far right party in Germany is cleaning up the Merkel mess. And they've got people setting up programs to teach the kids the right stuff. Because for the past 10 years, the kids have been indoctrinated with all this evil information via TikTok and social media. And we've got to stop that. We have to reverse the indoctrination. Yeah, people are saying we don't want these assholes in it any longer. They're horrible. They're destroying. They make us now. This is really, really ridiculous. That something does not like stuff that I'm saying. This is crazy. Who is it? Whoever it is, I'll call him back. The heck with it. There's lots of crazy shit going on. And people are now fighting back. And if you look at different channels like China Observer and China Insider, take a good look at those. I'm freezing up again. Okay, I'm going to go real fast and then I'll do some work on the computer and make sure it's up and running, doing everything well for next week. Yeah, the good guys are causing chaos in China. Unfortunately, a lot of bad shit. I mean, that high-rise fire where it was like 7, 8 buildings and the majority of went up. It wasn't the bamboo. Yeah, I just shut down a lot of stuff. I've got to get some things drained here on the computer. So, okay. Yeah, I just shut down. I had a couple windows open. I just closed them out. No, there's stuff going on in China to take down the CCP, and how they're doing it is they're go on China Observer and China Insider, and they've listed over the past month, there have been fires all over China. And it's not pretty. It's going to go, it's blowing up, okay? And the apartment fire in Hong Kong was the icing on the cake. Now we've got also stuff going down. People are worried about the stuff happening in Venezuelan airspace. You know what? Don't worry about it, because we're to the west of Venezuela, we've got Peru and Chile. Peru and Chile are basically getting together with Donald and saying they're shutting their borders down. They're saying no more of the shitheads coming into our countries either. So you've got a lot of South American countries, such as Peru, Chile, Argentina, that are getting together with the U.S. to say, no more, because they know it's the cartels and the evil ones that are trying to take over. I mean, they're the ones that are subsidizing. This is Islamic invasion. Venezuela was one of the countries where all these cargo ships who brought over all the members of Hamas and Hezbollah, Taliban, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, yeah, they docked in Venezuela, and Venezuela helped get them to the southern border of the U.S. So, yeah, people are laughing. They go, oh, we don't have that. We do too have that here. They were denying it for ages. And now, unfortunately, last Wednesday, a young lady was shot at point blank range by a member of the Taliban that came in thanks to Barry Soetoro and his puppet, Joey Biden. Yeah. Joey's brought in his alleged Afghan members. Remember, we had a lot of people coming into the U.S. thanks to Barry. And Barry was encouraging fellow evil Islamic idiots to come in to help destroy America. Yes. Yeah, we have so many, and it's unfortunate because the stupid shithead who's running Chicago, Babine Johnson, and Jeffrey Cummings, federal justice Jeffrey Cummings, who I have more dirt on than, and I'm waiting for those calls from Washington. I've got the dirt that can take his ass, take him out, take him off the bench. Yeah, Jeff Cummings was buddies with Obama and wants to see the destruction of America. Jeffrey Cummings, that federal justice that says told ICE to release those 600 plus people, he hates Caucasian, Christian, Judeo-Christian women. And that's what a Muslim does. He hates Judeo-Christian women and wants to see them destroyed. Yes. So he wants the people out who will destroy American women, who target American women. And this Afghan, this member of the Taliban that literally drove from Washington State to Washington, D.C. I mean, this guy, his family was being underwritten by George Soros and the idiots. Those idiots. Remember, hey, all the shithead stuff, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, all the shitheads. I mean, we know the Looney Tunes from California went all the way up the West Coast. So, yeah, liberal Looney Tunes were underwriting this guy and paid for him and helped him out driving across country so he could go and start. Remember what happened in 1914. This guy is to that Serbian idiot who shot the Austrian Duke. So the member of the Taliban, they're starting to go over. And now we have to make sure everyone who is in America, in England, in any European country, make sure you're carrying something you can protect yourself with. Women in the UK, a cigarette lighter and a baby can of aerosol deodorant or hairspray can help save your life. Start smoking. Have a lit cigarette with you at all times, in your hand, anytime you're outside. I know it's spendy, but in the UK, cigarettes are expensive, but it may save your life. Those of us in America, go get your pow-pows. Because the Islamic jihadists have made it known. They're going to be targeting American women. And they're going to try very hard to take out to hurt as many of us as possible. So we need to learn to defend ourselves and be able to. A lit cigarette is a good thing. So is a little can of aerosol deodorant with a, remember that old James Bond trick? And here we go again. I shut everything else down. Something else is going on. I know I'm being watched. This has really started because I started calling out Jeff Cummings. Big time. Okay. Eddie and Andy. Remember, Charles has a lot of friends still in office. Eddie and Andy, basically their dads were Philip's boys. And Philip did serve World War II vet. And Eddie and Andy back in the late 70s, early 80s about Chucky. So people are telling Chucky, you're too sick, you got to make Bill. And William is getting a lot of guidance from his uncles. So it's Charles's people who are doing their damnedest to make life horrible for Andy and Eddie. And what's crazy is that the Navy has no plans on removing Andy's position as Vice Admiral. So, they're going after Eddie because he doesn't have any military status. I'm paying a chunk every year for bag shower. They're trying to take that away from him. They're trying to remove them from the Crown properties because they are giving good guidance to him and his kids. And Sophie is supporting Catherine. So it's Charles and his people he's the one who's trying to destroy his brothers. Because Charles knows his brothers know more and are more capable than he is. That's what's going down. It's jealous. Charles's jealousy. And people are trying to cover things up because they know Charles has destroyed England. And today being St. Andrew's Day, you're going to see a lot of people, a lot of Jacobites standing up and telling this Hanoverian asshole where to go. Thank goodness Diana's family is Jacobite. So William is half Jacobite. They want to get rid of that Hanoverian. Big time. Bring back the Jacobite rule, line of succession. We know what's going on. We have zero tolerance for idiots. Hey, remember, a lot of the Islamic idiots marry their cousins. And a lot of stupidity comes from marrying their cousin. And yeah, Elizabeth and Philip were distant cousins. Thank goodness that the people in charge made sure that fresh blood was brought in. Okay? Now, it's going to be crazy. Now I know I'll think things are going nuts. I don't want to risk people trying to pop in. So I'm sorry this is short and sweet, but shoot me emails and I've got to do some work on the computer, okay? And I'll pop some stuff up for you later in the week. Thank you. Bye-bye.